Greetings, gentlemen. I'm your host, Asa Kane. A couple of weeks ago, I shared with you the story of the self-proclaimed crypto king, a young man with no education, no experience, and very little to no knowledge in our space, but yet many of you invested over $40 million with this young man to make money for you in crypto. This story is even worse than that, believe it or not. And it does involve a woman, although not highly attractive to most, she is a woman. And she was able to defraud and steal and dupe billions of dollars out of men, okay? Not romantically either, but in the crypto space. I'm going to tell you all about the crypto queen. But before I do so, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment in any particular order. Before I do so, though, this video is sponsored by BitFi. Now, BitFi is the fastest growing exchange on the planet. When you sign up for your own account using my link in the description, you're going to earn $2,888 in rewards that you can use to buy even more crypto. When you make your very first deposit, you're going to receive $200 matching in US staple coins. But a bigger reason for me personally and professionally is the fact that I have been able to buy coins and tokens that I cannot get on Coinbase or Crypto.com. Up at the top of the screen, you see Alice up, 26% over the last 24 hours, and then Foxy up 19% over the last 24 hours. Have you ever even heard of the Foxy token? Most of you, I know you haven't, because it's new and it's not listed on either exchange. And then let's go down here further. You're welcome, by the way. In the middle of the screen, not that market, that trading volume. God. And then right here in the middle of the screen, you see Alice, Keisha, both of them available here on BitFi. And then let's go down further. Toward the bottom of the screen, you see Wojak. I just shared with you Wojak token here within the last couple of weeks. And then at the bottom.
1, 2, 3. Applause, please.
Within 18 months, 1 million people or so from 175 countries had invested something like 4 billion euros.
Again, 1 million people in 175 different countries invested over $4 billion into this project.
1.5 years after we launched our cryptocurrency OneCoin,
She traveled the world speaking at huge concert arenas and venues and seminars.
the sky really is the limit for us. We want to be the #1 cryptocurrency out there.
And then in October 2017, Dr. Ruja boards a Ryanair flight from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece, and disappears into thin air and is never seen again.
Ignatova founded and ran one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history, peddling a fake cryptocurrency called OneCoin and raking in billions of dollars from her victims.
The whole thing was fake, except for the billions of euros that had been invested. We're trying
You
to
can't make this shit up. Billions of fucking dollars. And she's gone. I'm shocked.
I'm Jamie Bartlett, I'm a technology writer, and for the last 4 years I've been investigating the story of OneCoin and its founder Dr. Ruja Ignatova for the podcast and book The Missing Crypto Queen. Dr. Ruja Ignatova is a Bulgarian-German businesswoman who in 2014 announced to the world that she had created the next Bitcoin, the next cryptocurrency that was going to be bigger than Bitcoin. It was going to revolutionize global finance. She meets up with a man who specializes in multi-level marketing called
That's a red flag
Sebastian
right
Greenwood. And multi-level marketing is a sales technique whereby you sell products to your friends and family and make a small commission, and then you recruit your friends and family to sell to their friends and family. And you will make commission on everyone that you recruit or is recruited by people you recruit.
I've never even
And so
thought
it
of having
forms this
that
sort of
in this
gigantic
space. And I'm a
pyramid of
salesman.
sellers. And in 2014, they decide to launch OneCoin. And it starts off very, very slow, very, very small. No one's sure whether it's going to take off or not. The thing about multi-level marketing is everything depends on momentum. And within months, €1 billion has been invested into OneCoin. That's how fast it took
gentlemen.
off. Dr. Ruja made sure that she looked the part. She did have incredible, impeccable academic background. She appeared on the front cover of Forbes magazine, except it wasn't the front cover of Forbes magazine. It was the front cover of Forbes Bulgaria, but in fact it was a piece of sponsored content that she paid for. A few weeks later, she spoke at an event hosted by The Economist magazine, and she made sure that the photograph of her standing next to the logo of The Economist was in all of her presentations. As OneCoin grows, sort of Dr. Ruja herself grows with it. She's seen at all the lavish parties, she's hanging out with politicians, she's wearing $1 million.
I wouldn't give a fuck about who she's hanging out with. Only thing I would care about is what's being done to get the coin out there to increase the value. That's it.
Necklaces, and soon enough she starts calling herself the Crypto Queen. So her birthday parties were always very, very...
Last week it was the young king. This week it's the old queen.
of 2016. Firstly, it was a huge event. There were 3,000 people there. She comes on the stage, very, very well choreographed, to This Girl Is on Fire by Alicia Keys, which was, one of the songs she liked to play when she entered the stage, with OneCoin behind her, pyrotechnics and flames. Ruja says to the crowd, okay, I'm going to increase the number of coins from 2.1 billion to 120 billion. So 50 times more coins are going to be produced like this.
Did you hear that? She expanded the number of tokens by 50 instantly, and I would have instantly sold all of mine then and there.
But here's the good news. The price isn't going to decrease. The price is going to stay exactly the same. And she said, as a little reward, because I know you'll be worried about all this, all the coins in your account are going to double overnight. I'm going to double the coins.
What we will do as a company, we will double the coins on your accounts.
None of it makes any sense. This is not how economics works. Investors were really from every profession, every religion, rich and poor alike, but there were people who were selling everything they owned to invest their money in this. I spoke to a nurse, I spoke to a doctor, I spoke to a dentist who'd left their jobs to just promote OneCoin, to buy OneCoin and promote it.
Leave it to a woman to try to redefine economics, and leave it to stupid people to invest everything that they own into this.
Towards the end of the summer of 2017, pressure is starting to mount on her. There are regulators around the world that seem to be sniffing around what's going on, and she panics and she realizes she's got to get out. As it happens, she's completely right. The Department of Justice in early October issued a sealed arrest warrant for her. She asks her younger brother, Konstantin, who works as her PA, to book her 2 flights, one to Vienna and one to Athens. She takes the one to Athens, and at that point, the trial goes completely dead. We just don't know exactly what happened to her.
Ignatova predicted all of this in 2014 when she was just starting OneCoin. Back then, she wrote an email that was entitled Exit Strategy. She listed a number of options for how to get away with it. The very first one, take the money and run.
I can finish that.
And over.
Take the money and run. She had an exit strategy written out several years prior to this. It was all a scam from the goddamn start. She's a fucking fraud, allegedly. What's more incredible to me is not the fact that she was trying to redefine economics, but the fact that people actually invested in her at all, let alone everything that they own. It's insane. It's beyond stupid.
But this is what I think probably happened. She gets to Thessaloniki, she hangs around there for a couple of days, and then she does the one thing that people wouldn't expect, which is she goes back into Bulgaria again. I think she thought Bulgaria was a smart place for her to lay low for a while to see what happened. But then in early 2018, the German police, who've also been investigating Dr. Ruja, raid her office. And she thinks, oh man, this is really serious. I'm not going to get away with this. And so she goes again. And this time, I think she goes to Dubai. She had a penthouse there. She had a residency card in Dubai. She had lots of her businesses based in Dubai. She knew a lot of people there. In 2019, the US actually published their arrest warrant for her, their indictment, and they arrested her brother. And I think at that point, she thought Dubai is no longer a safe haven for me, not the one I thought it was. So I'm going to move again. And now she comes back into Europe. Bear in mind, by this point, she has got a lot of plastic surgery. She's got very, very good fake documentation, fake passports. She travels under a different name. So she, I think, was able to get back into Europe. And all the different sightings that I've had, the very, very credible ones as well, place her in and around the Mediterranean, in and around Greece in particular. So our working theory is that she spends a lot of time at sea, on a large super yacht of some kind. Being out at sea is actually a safe-ish place to be. It's quite hard to police international waters. The fun thing about making this podcast was we went to Sofia, of course, where the headquarters were. We went to their head office, which was still open. There were staff going in and out. This huge security guy just standing there looking angry. OneCoin logos sort of plastered all over the walls. And I couldn't believe it was still open. Then we went to her beach mansion in Sozopol on the Black Sea, went to look at her yacht. We then got word that she might be in Frankfurt somehow. So we just rocked up to Frankfurt and started walking around all the expensive streets. We went into the casinos, we went into the top restaurants with photographs. Have you seen this woman? She's got blonde hair now. Have you seen her? Have you seen her? No one had except a postman who vaguely recognized the name and the face. We went to Uganda, where we traveled 400 miles west of Kampala to tiny villages where nearly everyone had invested in OneCoin and still believed in it. I turned up at a OneCoin office in Uganda speaking to someone who was still promoting OneCoin, still telling me that everything was going to be fine, Ruja's going to come back one day. We started work on the podcast in late 2018, but the first episode came out in September 2019. We did a follow-up episode in mid-2020 because her brother turned up in court testifying against her investment manager. He'd been arrested and pleaded guilty to fraud, agreed to work with the government. In June 2022, published a book, The Missing Crypto Queen, which brings it right up to speed. I thought anyway, because 1 week after the book came out, the FBI added her to the top 10 most wanted fugitives list, and we've been inundated with more sightings and tip-offs, which we are now investigating. So the story is just still going.
Our hope is that naming her to the top 10 most wanted fugitive list will draw attention to her and her alleged crimes and allow us to bring her to justice here in the United States.
Well, here she is, gentlemen, and the few ladies that are watching. Miss Ruja Ignatova, alleged thief, scammer, deceptor, stole over $4 billion of people's hard-earned money, and now she's been using it to live off of ever since. What a piece of shit, huh? Even more alarming to me is the fact that so many people invested with her instead of learning for themselves. That is far more alarming to me. And then we have again the boy wonder, the young man with no experience, no credentials, nothing. No receipts, but yet hundreds of you invested over $40 million with this scammer, this thief, this POS. Why? Because you idolize what he represented to you. That says more about you than it does him, honestly. And he should go to jail still, but it says more about you. Life is so ironic. For the better part of 3 years, I've been showing thousands of you how to earn money in crypto, and yet the contributions I've received from tens of thousands of you are little to nothing compared. It just shows you how fucking selfish and stupid most people really are. So I don't have any sympathy for those so-called victims. They chose what they did. Enough of that. I'm about moving forward. Now, if this video and my channel as a whole has been of value to you, contribute in the way that makes the most difference financially. You can do so by sending any amount of USDC or USDT stable coins to our address in the description. It helps us to grow and to create more infinitely valuable content for all of you. I honestly, I'm fascinated by these tales because I study people, and I always have, and I never seem to be amazed, to stop being amazed at the level of laziness and selfishness of people. People don't want to invest in themselves. They want an easy way out. Then when they get an effective way to make money, they don't support these methods. And that includes so many of you here right now, the thousands of you that have been watching my newest meme coins over the last few weeks. This is why everything is getting ready to go on Patreon, because I've given too much and received little to nothing. This content is only for those that are loyal from here on out. Till next time, get in there and make it happen. Ever since we've lived in houses, there have been burglars. No matter if the house is in a lower income neighborhood or a higher income neighborhood, there are certain people that if they think that you have valuables, they're going to try to take what is yours, what you've earned. And historically, thieves and burglars have sought, appliances, electronics, cash, cracking safes, any and everything of value. But now they've expanded into crypto and committing home invasions to try to steal people's crypto. So much so that people that have refused them have even lost their lives. Now, in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at a crypto theft mastermind, is what he's called, who's been convicted here in the United States for home invasions. All right. Now, before we do so, make sure that you hit the like button, comment, share your thoughts, share this video with someone that you care about that has even a little bit of crypto, and for yourself, subscribe. Now, this video is brought to you by BitFi. We've been partnered with BitFi for over a year now. It's the fastest growing exchange on the planet. Now, when you sign up using my official link, you're going to earn $2,888 in rewards that you can use to buy even more crypto. When you make your very first deposit of only $200, you're going to earn $200 in stable coins that you can use to buy even more crypto. Now remember, I told all of you that I had something special going on lined up for you. This is one of those things. This promotion we've got going on, it just started yesterday. As you can see here, even more money to earn. We got 13, actually it's 14 days counting today, 13, depending on when you read this. All right, now register to get, if you just by signing up, you're going to earn $20 in US stable coins. You also, if you make your first deposit of only $50 right now, you're going to get an additional $30 in stable coins. If you make a deposit of $1,000 and you trade, you're going to earn $200 and then an additional $300. Look at this. Rewards will be distributed every Friday. Okay, these is going to be distributed for the next 2 weeks. Sign up right now using my link. It's the only way you can get this additional rewards on top of everything else that we've already got set up. Download the app at the Apple Store and also on Google Play. Currently, there are over 500,000 investors using BitFi, as you can see. I mean, we've got a lot going on, but we'll talk about that more later. Now, this article is brought to you by Bitcoin.com News. It was published Wednesday, and it is involving the crypto theft mastermind. All right, now I was going to get deeper. This is just the intro, okay? That's what we're doing right here. A Florida man has been convicted in the U.S. for orchestrating an international scheme that involved violent home invasions aimed at stealing cryptocurrency. The operation targeted victims throughout the country who were kidnapped and assaulted to gain access to their crypto accounts. The defendant is facing a minimum sentence of 7 years and a maximum of life in prison. The U.S. Department of Justice on Tuesday, which was June the 25th, announced that a federal jury in Greensboro, North Carolina, had convicted a Florida man for his lead role in an international conspiracy to break into United States citizens' homes, violently kidnap and assault them, and steal their Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. Wow. The Justice Department explained that Remy St. Felix of West Palm Beach was the leader of a robbery crew targeting crypto owners through violent home invasions between September of 2022 and July of 2023. St. Felix planned and orchestrated robberies in Durham, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and New York, where victims were kidnapped. In one incident in April of last year, St. Felix and a co-conspirator forced their way into a victim's home. There, both of them assaulted, zip-tied, and held the victim at gunpoint, then threatened more violence against the victim and the victim's spouse, while other co-conspirators transferred more than $150,000 in cryptocurrency from their account. Evidence that was presented at the trial showed that they gained unauthorized access to their email accounts and conducted physical surveillance before the home invasions. They then laundered the stolen funds through enhanced cryptocurrencies like Monero, which we've covered on the channel, okay, like 2 years ago. Now I'm going to share with you a news clip. Fair use.
This reveals startling new details about a Durham couple held hostage in their own home. This happened on Wells Street back in April. At the time, police said 2 men dressed as construction workers entered the home, pulled out guns, and restrained the 76-year-olds with zip ties. Anna Rivera joins us live now with new information. Anna?
Well, John, these new details just coming out really paint a terrifying picture of what exactly happened on that day in April. So let's break down everything we know from these new court documents that were just released. On April 12th, an elderly couple answered the door of their Wells Street home when 2 men dressed as construction workers told them they needed to check the pipes in their home. Instead, the men, identified in the criminal complaints as Remy Ross St. Felix and Elmer Castro, zip-tied the 2 76-year-olds and held them at gunpoint with this gun. The court documents say the men threatened to cut off the husband's toes and genitalia, to shoot him, and to rape his wife before forcing them to transfer more than $150,000 worth of cryptocurrency to an unknown account. After they were tied up, the documents say the wife was dragged by her legs into a bathroom, the husband forced to log on to his Coinbase cryptocurrency account, and over the next 45 minutes transferred $156,853 into 3 transactions. A 4th transaction was flagged by Coinbase. Now, the court documents say that a 3rd man was also involved in this, but involved by finding the victims. Both Castro and St. Felix drove from Florida and spent 3 days watching the couple before committing this alleged crime. Now, this is a story we're going to stay on top of.
I'm going to share one more article
to bring
with
you
you.
Details as they become available.
And it
Back to you
goes
guys.
far deeper. Okay. Now this is from Wired, and it was published a few hours ago, actually, June 28th. You can see here, and it says, inside a violent gang's ruthless crypto stealing home invasion spree, more than a dozen men threatened, assaulted, tortured, or kidnapped 11 victims, and likely the worst ever crypto-focused serial extortion case of its kind in the United States. Now, crypto has always made a ripe target for theft, and not just hacking, but the old-fashioned, up-close, personal kind too, given that it can be irreversibly transferred in seconds with little more than a password, it's perhaps no surprise that thieves have occasionally sought to steal crypto in home invasion burglaries and even kidnappings. But rarely do these thieves leave a trail of violence in their wake as disturbing as that of one recent, ruthless, and particularly prolific gang of crypto extortionists. The U.S. Department of Justice earlier this week announced the conviction of Remy Ross St. Felix of Florida. He's only 24. He led a group of men behind a violent crime spree designed to compel victims to hand over access to their savings. Now, the complaint lays out charges against him on a single theft of crypto from an elderly couple in North Carolina, whose home he and one of his accomplices broke into and stole over $150,000 in Bitcoin and Ethereum from their wallets. Wow. In fact, the six-figure sum appears to have been the gang's only confirmed haul from its physical crypto thefts, although the burglars and their associates made millions in total, mostly through more traditional hacking, crypto hacking, as well as stealing other assets. A deeper look into court documents from the case, however, reveals that the relatively small profit the gang made from its burglaries doesn't capture the full scope of the harm they inflicted. In total, those court filings and DOJ officials describe how more than a dozen convicted members broke into homes of 11 people, and this spanned 4 states total. In court documents, prosecutors say the men working in pairs or small teams threatened to cut toes or genitalia off of one victim, kidnapped and discussed killing another, and planned to threaten another victim's child as leverage. Prosecutors also described disturbing torture tactics, how the men inserted sharp objects under one victim's fingernails and burned another with a hot iron, all in an effort to coerce their targets to hand over the devices and passwords necessary to steal their crypto holdings. The victims in this case suffered a horrible, painful experience that no citizen should have to endure, said Sandra Hairston, U.S. attorney who prosecuted the case. The defendant and his co-conspirators acted purely out of greed and callously terrorized those they targeted. The serial extortion spree is almost certainly the worst of its kind ever to be prosecuted in the United States, said James Lott, the co-founder and chief security officer of Casca, and that's a security firm. Let's go down further. Lott nonetheless that this kind of crime spree is more than a one-off. He has learned of other similar attempts of physical theft of crypto in just the past month that have escaped public reporting. He says the victims in those cases asked him not to share details and suggested in-person crypto extortion may be on the rise, as thieves realize the attraction of crypto as a highly valuable and instantly transportable target for theft. Crypto as this highly liquid bearer asset completely changes the incentives of doing something like a home invasion, Lop says, or even kidnapping and extortion and ransom. Right down here, you can see here 3 failed brutal extortions. Despite the potential of stealing crypto through that kind of physical coercion, the gang had remarkably little success extorting significant sums from victims, but it wasn't for lack of trying. One document written by prosecutors outlines the basis for a plea agreement for one of the gang's lookout drivers, describes how they began to form in 2021 and went on to carry out a series of robberies. Now this is Mr. St. Felix right here. This is a picture a few years old. I searched the entire internet to find new ones, but they're not out yet. As soon as they come out, I will be sharing them with all of you. It's not just him, it's the entire gang. And looking further, I found that he was convicted back in 2018 of some pretty bad charges, but he was since released. And look at what we have here. All right, we'll be making updates as far as sentencing whenever that's made available, and anything else that comes out of this case. Now, I can't stop someone from trying to break into your home to take your crypto away from you, but I can help you to protect your cryptocurrency. And the way I can do that is to help you make it where no one else can have access to your currency. No one, only you. The only way to do that is to get your own cold storage wallet. Now, Ledger is one of the leading worldwide manufacturers of crypto cold storage wallets. Most of you have your crypto on Coinbase, Crypto.com, even BitFi. Don't leave it on there for an extended amount of time, 6 months or longer. Put it on your wallet. 90% of you leave it on the exchange. This is why thieves like this gang were able to steal from the older people, I should say, and from several others. Do not do that. Put it on the cold storage wallet. That way no one else can access it but you. You have a seed phrase of anywhere from 12 words to 24 words. Memorize those words. That way no one can take what's yours. It's the only way. Ledger is based and headquartered in Paris, France, but they ship all over the world. The reason why I know is because I bought my first Ledger almost 4 years ago. All right, don't be stupid. This is the only way to protect your money. Otherwise, you could potentially be a victim. As you can see right here, showing you the secret recovery phrase. Again, it could be the 12 words or 24. It's up to you. Remember those. That way no one can ever steal your money, even if you've lost your wallet. I mean, how cool is that? By having your own wallet, you therefore own your own bank. It doesn't get any better than that, Joe. It just doesn't. Now, if you want to finally protect your money, the link is in the description. Go ahead and get yourself one now. Now, if this video has been of value to you, and our channel as a whole has been of value to you, show your appreciation, your thanks, your support in a way that has the most impact. And that, of course, is financially. You can do so by sending any amount of stable coins to our address in the description. It helps us to grow, to be able to create more valuable content for all of you, because money is energy. I wish I could say I didn't see any of this coming, but being the logical man that I am, I did. And it is only going to get worse. I see that. So protect yourself, protect what you own. Our society, as we know it, gentlemen, is breaking down day by day. You better protect what you have, because no one else is going to. I mean, period. That's what you have to do. There is no other way. Either adapt or die. Until next time, get in there and make it happen.
I'm your host, Asa Kane. This exemplifies most people's mentality in today's world. Get as much as you can get and screw everybody else, regardless to how much they contributed to your success, how much they've helped you. They might have even saved your life. No, we all want to go out. We want to act brand new. We want to look at the most expensive diamonds and pearls for the ladies. We want to do all of that. We want to look at the gold. We want to buy gold necklaces, bracelets, and watches, and rings, and diamonds. And oh, don't forget about the Rolex. Gotta get the Rolex. Gotta get the first one. Even more than that, you gotta get all that so then you can get the model chick, the trophy chick. You wanna be an influencer. You want everyone to follow you and to love you and all this. They don't even know you, but still, that's what you want. Ultimately though, you want that girl. You want that unconditional love. You want her to love you for you. That chick that's at least an 8 or better. You want to become the center of her world. And again, you want her love unconditionally. Gentlemen, what you need to know, first of all, is love with women is not unconditional. At the same time, everybody's not cheering for you. You got people that are out working full time, even more than you are, to try to take what you've got. They're working 15, 16 hours a day. They're thieves, and they're unabashed. And all they care about is what they want to. So many times you're on a collision course. And in the real world, you want to be flashy in the wrong places when you're around people that don't have much of anything and act like it's nothing. You want to be Hollywood, Holly weird. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, young or old, white, Asian, Latino, African American. Someone wants what you have and you're vulnerable. That's what you're going to see. Now, we're going to be reviewing this episode off Kira TV. It just came out 7 days ago, as you see it. It's already got over 300,000 views. And the reason why I'm reviewing this is because it applies a lot to our world and our industry and our business. Now, before we get into that, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, share this video, and also hit the like button. Now, this video is brought to you by BidFi. BidFi is the fastest growing exchange in the world. The reason why we've partnered with them is that, for one, you're able to get assets that you're not able to get anywhere else, especially if you're in the United States or Canada, okay? Or you're able to get them a year or two after the fact. Now, when you sign them using our official link, you're going to earn $2,888 in rewards by making deposits and by taking simple quizzes, also passing them, that are going to expand your knowledge and make you a more proficient investor. Also, when you make your first deposit and you complete your KYC, know your customer, you are going to receive $200 in US stable coins that you can use to invest more. Get your first coin in 30 seconds. Now, why do you want to choose BidFi? For one, because you're able to get coins that are not available anywhere else. They've been rated as a top exchange by Forbes. Multiple licenses, service diversification. You can copy the trades of successful traders, yours truly included. You just have to find me on there. And also, there's easy deposit and withdrawal, okay? Trade anywhere. You can download the app on the Apple Store app, Google Play as well. And for those of you with Windows or Mac, all right? Now, let's get into it.
It's common sense to avoid walking in a bad neighborhood while flaunting expensive jewelry, leaving valuables on your car seat, or pulling out a bunch of cash in public. These are just simple things we all do to lessen the risk of being robbed. But in 2024, people have decided to ignore this common sense and instead open themselves up to a much wider audience of opportunists. I'm of course talking about social media. There are many factors that play into this, but the biggest one is flexing wealth. If you were wealthy in the years before social media, there was an inherent protection of crimes requiring a spur-of-the-moment decision, or someone who had an incredible level of access to your life. With social media though, people seem not only happy, but willing to present themselves as that target and give that access to the world entirely for free, just to flex.
Entirely for free.
If you ever want to achieve
you in no way,
freedom,
shape, or form,
then
why
you need
do
to
it?
stop exchanging time for money and instead invest into assets that generate a passive income irrespective of the world marketplace.
In the first example, let's look at Kieran Hamilton, a Manchester-based and self-titled finance guru.
That's not a good start.
Kieran posts a typical lifestyle of the finance influencer online, complete with millions of dollars in luxury goods like clothing, watches, cars, and property, but also a lifestyle of travel and general opulence. Embedded in these posts are the links to explain this lifestyle and how Kieran lives it. He claims he can teach you how to become as wealthy as he is using the typical methods: forex trading, YouTube automation, collectibles trading, property investment, and more. Now, whether he can do this or if he's earned money from it is not the point of this video. He's among thousands of finfluencer accounts on social media that make the same promises, and usually they make their wealth from selling this fake luxury lifestyle to gullible people as opposed to making money doing the things that they claim.
Very true.
Because realistically, if you were this finance guru who could turn hundreds into thousands into millions, you wouldn't need to tell anybody else, you just do it, and then if you really wanted to help, just give to charities. Charging people money to tell them how to make money is a little bit contradictory if you say that's why you do it in the first place. Either way, however he got the money or whether he has as much as he claims, posting about it all on social media is a double-edged sword, or should I say, a double-edged machete in Kieran's case. He woke up one night to the sound of smashing downstairs, thinking it was his French bulldogs fighting as usual. Then he heard footsteps on the staircase of his new home. Within minutes, Kieran was face to face with two machete-wielding intruders. They told him exactly what they wanted, and those were the things he was bragging about on social media, such as watches, cash, laptops, and more. After a few punches and a bit of stabbing, they took what they could and left the house. Unfortunately, what they could get at the time was one of his dogs, but at least there's a happy ending to this story. He did get the dog back about a year later.
Got him back.
Now obviously Kieran was targeted solely because of his social media posts. Posts he made specifically for attention, and attention is exactly what he got, though not in the way he would have liked in this case. Since then, he posts on social media less, but when it's part of your business model to sell the product of promised wealth to your audience, it's probably kind of hard to avoid. And now let's look. Obviously in 2024 and a few years past, cryptocurrency exists, and people can be walking around with millions of dollars in their pocket.
Very true.
A simple face scan, a fingerprint on the mobile phone, and there could be sat generational wealth. That wealth can be transferred within seconds, anywhere on the globe, with zero scrutiny and almost no way to see it returned. So obviously this adds an additional level of risk to flaunting wealth online, especially in the world of cryptocurrency. If you have a Twitter account where you post about the millions you make and then people notice you in public, it's not just a watch that they're going to be snatching off your wrist. If they can get access to your phone, they could literally empty what amounts to your life savings within minutes. One simple example of this are reports of business executives being lured to fake meetings. They believe they're there for a nice meal, maybe a bottle of expensive wine and conversations about potential partnerships, but in reality, they're taken to a dark room, forced to open their phone, and send millions of dollars in assets, and if they're lucky, released without harm. This is an example shows the difference between professionals and amateurs. An amateur might come into your house with a machete looking for a few watches or a few $1,000s in loose cash because they see you post on Instagram. A professional, they're going straight for the cryptocurrency accounts in your mobile phone. This has happened countless times and really illustrates the dangers of being a public figure with a high net worth in 2024, especially in that world of cryptocurrency. So what about when we combine three things? What about when we have cryptocurrency, an influencer flaunting his wealth online, and a personal vendetta? I'm sure that's a winning combination that will turn out just fine in the end, right? In the case of Aidan Platursky, it all happened as you would expect. The 22-year-old Aidan decided to share his years of wisdom and genius-level investing talent with the world.
22 years old.
This guy managed to convince hundreds of middle-class and up adults to part way with anywhere from tens of thousands to millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Aidan assured them all the money would grow quickly because he was, as his social media would show, the self-proclaimed crypto king.
They gave him
with
their
this
money
pitch,
to make
Aidan
decisions.
managed to raise in the ballpark of $40 million.
40 fucking
all on the
million.
premise that he could simply make money multiply and had experience doing so.
40.
Which again raises the question, why would he need other people's money if he could do this when he'd just be a